Morning, everybody. It's Tim. I hope you all doing well, and happy Friday. Yesterday, it started raining kind of early, later than the models predicted here in Middle Georgia. We got a little bit of rain. It wasn't too bad, but up in the Northeast, there was some really high winds up here yesterday. I was watching it go through. This is the upper level water vapor loop. This morning, I almost always show this because it really gives a good indication of what things are doing in the upper levels of the atmosphere. You can see that system pushing through with a cold front about to push through our area. Up here, it looks like we have two mesoscale convective systems moving, one up here and one here on the flow aloft. It's not uncommon this time of year for them to ride over this ridge that's building here and through northwest flow down into this area. These aren't projected to impact our area in any meaningful way. They'll probably weaken quite a bit before they could see all the dry air. This is the low levels. Look at that. Look how dry the air is right here. So more likely they won't make it down to our area at all. The big story for the upcoming week, I think you're probably hearing all about it, is the heat. Is a really good resource here that I found. Shows a little bit of kind of a busy map, but overall on the left here it shows the risk of heat-related impacts, and they're shaded appropriately in different parts, and kind of gives you an idea where the highest impacts will be felt. And especially one of the biggest things that affects people is if the temperatures don't recover overnight, and especially for people who don't have air conditioning or the elderly, that's where most of the heat-related deaths occur. So we also have the heat hazards. I also have the heat hazards layer on the extreme heat watch, heat advisory layer here. I'm going to add the extreme heat warning too. This is today. I'm going to remove these layers for now. Excuse me. So we can just see the heat impacts they move through. Much of the nation, moderate to major or minor. Actually, most is minor to major to moderate. Friday, let's see. On the East Coast, not too much going on. Probably due to lower dew points and the heat index not being as high. You see the middle of the U.S. is particularly affected pretty heavily. And then you move on to Saturday, major impacts in the upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, west of the Mississippi, down here in Georgia, along the coast out west here, cooling off, which is good. Sunday, threat shifts eastward, northern tier of the U.S., which is it's kind of unusual, isn't it? I mean, you would think down to the south there'd be more impacts, but I think this is partially because this is an impact-based map, and not necessarily like how it feels to you, but also based on the impacts to people who live here. And up here, they're not used to this kind of heat, and they don't have the infrastructure as much as in the south to handle it. So the impacts are greater. Monday, same thing. You can see the threat is shifting east each day. And then you get into Tuesday, East Coast, Wednesday, um, Ohio Valley, East Coast, all pretty much all the eastern U.S., some of the western U.S., but the major impacts are the eastern U.S. Some of the risks, I'm going to pull those up here. You can see all the heat advisories, watches, warnings. Uh, you know, uh, the only thing I can say is that pay attention to your local National Weather Service office warnings and advisories. It's impossible for me to highlight each area here. And out here in the desert, I mean, it's hot all the time right now. But any place that's not necessarily used to it, it's kind of scary. So let's look at the heat index values, what we think they're going to be really quickly, like what the actual out field temperatures are going to be. I think we did this the other day, but trying to use the right time frame here. This just highlights how hot it's going to be heat index wise all on the East Coast. I mean, eastern half of the U.S., excuse me. This is incredible right here. These values, 108, 102. Really a bullseye over here. This whole area in this corridor is crazy heat index values. You're probably going to get some relief in the northeast here. This is next Friday. Cooling off a little bit. Still hot, but I'm not sure why that's 79 there. It must be an onshore flow or something off the ocean right there. That's interesting. Um, continues. I mean, the temperatures are going to cool off some, but I mean, it's still going to be hot. My goodness. Finally, we get some relief here. Looks like towards of on the 2nd of July. But that's a long time from now, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But what's driving this is, right now we have this flow. You see high pressure, low pressure, high pressure, low pressure. Go through time, see a ridge, high pressure ridge building here, squarely over the southeast, up mid-level high, upper level high. Here, jet stream way up there. That's what's driving the heat and why it's cooler in the western states. This looks like it maintains itself quite a while. Go through time, breaks down some. Next Saturday, flow becomes more amplified again, slightly towards the first part of July, but it's really more of a zonal flow. So not that probably shows why it's not quite so hot everywhere. Precipitation, I show this map every day. Low chances of rain. The southeast, these for Georgia every day. To the south here, this is probably sea breeze impacts. This area here is probably seeing more precip because they're on the western side of the ridge. which will bring moisture up this way. These will be mostly air mass thunderstorms. Hard to really say when and where they're going to occur. You can see up even in the northeast, there's not, you can see the precip is way up north here and along the coast. So the big story for the upcoming week and a half is the heat. As I said before, stay hydrated, check on elderly, avoid strenuous activities during the heat of the day. If you have to be out there working, take a lot of breaks, drink a lot of water. Excuse me. Now's the time to fix your air conditioning if you're having problems with it. Don't wait till the last minute, because then you'll be suffering a lot, and I don't want to hear about that, because I know that's what I mean by that is I know what it's like not to have air conditioning, and it's terrible. So it's horrible to think about sitting in a 100-degree house on their air conditioning when you're 80 years old, and check on those people. They need help. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I hope you all have a great day.